The ice cream is not the business. The spot the van parks in is. A good pitch, the right corner, the right park, the right school run, is worth more than the van, the freezer, and the stock combined. And the fight over who gets to park where has at times in this country turned genuinely nasty. You are not really selling cones. You are renting a patch of pavement the law never gave you. That idea sits underneath everything else, so hold on to it while we go through the rest. Start with the van, because people badly underestimate what it costs. A proper ice cream van is not a car with a freezer bolted in. It is a specialist vehicle, converted, fitted with soft serve machines, refrigeration, a generator or a power takeoff to run it all, a water supply, a serving hatch, and enough compliance with food hygiene rules to satisfy an inspection. A decent second-hand one runs into many thousands of pounds, and a new, fully fitted van can cost as much as a small house deposit. Then it has to be kept running, and here is the detail most people never think about. The freezer does not switch off when the customers go quiet. To keep the product frozen and the soft serve machine at temperature, something has to be generating power all day, which usually means the engine or a generator is burning fuel, whether you have sold 1 cone or 100. You are paying to keep the cold constantly in the background on the good days and the dead ones alike. Add the insurance, which is not cheap for a vehicle that parks up and trades to the public. Add the servicing of both the van and the machines. Add the stock, which is perishable, and the wastage when a day goes badly. Add the licensing, because in many areas you cannot simply park anywhere and start selling. You need a street trading consent from the council, and those are limited, specific to certain streets and pitches, and in the best locations they are genuinely hard to get. So before you sell anything, you are carrying a converted vehicle, a running cost that never stops, and a license that may or may not let you stand where the customers actually are. Now, the product itself and the number that fools people. A soft serve cone costs pennies in mix and cornet and sells for a couple of pounds. On paper, that is a superb margin, one of the best of any food you can name. This is the number that gets people into the business. They look at the cone, they do the sum, and they picture a summer of easy money. But the margin on the cone was never the problem. The problem is how few cones you get to sell, and when. Because this business has a boss, and it is not the person driving the van, it is the weather. An ice cream van lives and dies by the sky. A single hot bank holiday weekend can make a serious part of the year. A cold, wet July can quietly erase a month of expected trade. And when it rains, everything that costs money carries on costing it. The van finance does not pause. The insurance does not pause. The freezer still runs, still burns fuel, still keeps a stock of ice cream cold that nobody is coming out in the rain to buy. Your best salesman is the sun, and the sun does not sign a contract. That is why the location matters so much, because a great pitch is the one thing that can protect you from the weather. A busy park on a warm day, a beachfront, a school gate at the right time, a spot on a well-walked route. The difference between a good pitch and a bad one is not small. It is the difference between a queue and an empty hatch, and that is where the chimes come in, and they are doing more than you think. That jingle coming down the street is not only an advert, it is a signal to every customer that you are here, and to every other operator that this street right now is being worked. An ice cream round is not a shop that people come to. It is a route, driven in an order, on a timing, and the value in the business is not really the van at all. It is the round. The known pitches, the regular stops, the school at 3:30, the estate on a Sunday afternoon, the unwritten understanding of who works where. None of that is written down anywhere official. The council sold you a consent for a street perhaps, but it did not sell you the goodwill, the timing, or the quiet agreement with the other vans about territory. That is exactly why the disputes over ground have, historically, sometimes turned into something far uglier than a disagreement about ice cream. When the asset is a patch of pavement that nobody formally owns, the arguments over it have no formal way to be settled. So when an ice cream van changes hands, look closely at what is actually being bought. The metal, the van, the machines, is worth a certain amount, and you could value it in an afternoon. But the round, the established route, with its proven pitches and its regular custom, can be worth far more than the vehicle, and it is the part you cannot see, cannot easily verify, and cannot get back if it turns out the regulars have drifted to a rival. You are buying a summer business with winter costs, a superb margin on a product you can only sell in narrow windows, a license that ties you to specific ground, and a round whose value lives entirely in an arrangement no contract enforces. And the winter is its own quiet problem, because the season does not stop the bills. For a good part of the year the weather is against you, the days are short, and there is no trade to be had on a cold, dark afternoon. Some operators lay the van up and find other work. Some try to bridge the gap with events or private hire. But the finance on the van, if it is financed, keeps arriving through. Every month it sits idle in a yard, earning nothing, waiting for spring. A business that only truly works for a handful of months has to carry itself through all 12. So if you decide to buy one, understand what you are actually buying. You are not buying an ice cream business. You are buying a converted van that costs money to keep cold every day of the year. And the right? To stand in a particular spot and hope the sun comes out. The cone is the easy part. The margin was always there. What you are really paying for is the pavement, the timing, and a good day in July.